Van Poppel going, but Jonathan Milan has got to the front in time. Milan is leading. Jonathan Milan leading. Matthew Brennan alongside him. Who's going to get it on the dip between those two?
This is saying that you won. And they think you won. You don't know.
Did you know something? Because we have no info.
Not yet.
Please, sir. That's my contact.
100%. Okay, it's confirmed.
Yeah?
Yeah!
You don't believe it, eh?
Let's go! Nice, enjoy it. Oh, nice.
We went for the bonus sprints and we kind of lost each other a little bit, but in the end, you know, I'd saved enough mental energy to kind of navigate in the end, and yeah, it was really close, but to come so close to a guy like Milan is really something special.
Day 3, stage 2 of the Lidl Deutschland Tour, with Danny Van Poppel in the lead in the blue jersey, trying to see if he can go 3-2-1 in his last 3 rides in this race. Of course, we'd seen a fantastic sprint finale at the end of stage 2 in Herford, where Matthew Brennan had taken the win just ahead of Jonathan Milan. Matthew Brennan rolling out in the green jersey, Danny Van Poppel in the blue leader's jersey of the Lidl Deutschland Tour. This is what they'd have to contend with, an extra 1,000 metres of elevation over what they had to do yesterday between Essen and Herford. And once again today, a handy breakaway, but this time 5 riders clear of the peloton as they chased. And this time round, they chased that little bit harder. We had a couple of crashes, in fact, the first crashes, notable crashes anyway, of this year's Lidl Deutschland Tour. These were the 3 that were remaining from the original breakaway, including Jonas Rutsch here, who was really the strongest of them, the German, along with Emils Leopins and Vincent Baudet, the Frenchman from Picnic Post-Danel. Well, they were doing their best to stay clear, but the attack started from behind before they'd even got to them as well. Along the edge of the Monasee Lake, the giant dammed water reserve, and up into the forest, this is when the action really started, because there was a late Bonification sprint point on the closing circuit, and the general classification riders, and particularly Visma Lease Bike's Wout van Aert, were particularly keen on getting those 3-second bonus in a race which is always so tightly fought. 3 remainers from the original 5 out front persisted. Vincent Baudet, the Frenchman, doing a really good ride in amongst some pretty illustrious company in that leading group of 3. This is the situation coming towards Augsburg for the first time. Jonas Rutsch deciding he had slightly better legs than the others, going off in search of the, well, first of all, the King of the Mountains point. There it was, taking the 3 points there at the top and moving himself up into 3rd in the King of the Mountains competition. And then carrying on. Carrying on in the end with the aim of getting to the finish line first. A little bit of a problem for UAE. Jan Christen with some of his musette bag silver foil caught in his rear mech, and Jonas Rutsch would survive to the finish line, first passage of it, before taking on a 20-kilometre loop around Augsburg and finishing in Nieheim. His sliver of a gap over the peloton, looking like it was all going to come back together and that we'd be treated to a normal bunch sprint finish. It certainly was the way it looked, but the race director had decided something different. We had a crash that affected Florian Lipowitz and the German champion in there too, Jörg Zimmermann. Of all the riders to come down there for the German fans, it really was the worst. This was Wout van Aert doing what he'd done one day ago before, picking up the only Bonification sprint point of the day and bagging 3 bonus seconds just ahead of Laurens Pithy. And Laurens Pithy once again reminding us, the Kiwi, that he was in good form. This was Florian Lipowitz giving us a little thumbs up to say he was okay, and then the attack started just after the intermediate sprint point. Spanish champion Ivan Romeo, the first of those to go, and then Jens Vogt and I noticed there were gaps opening up between the leading group, the chasing group, and the peloton as well. And then these 3 went clear. Jonathan Narvaez, Søren Vanskjold and Riley Sheehan driving clear of what was already a leading break. Søren Vanskjold, winner of the prologue, is stuck on the front. Jonathan Narvaez is in a prime position here, but what can Riley Sheehan, the American for Israel Premier Tech, do at the back? He is quick, but I think he needs to go early and get the jump on these two. If I was him, I would lay off and rush the gap. What is the young American going to do, though? In the Israel Premier Tech colours, here he goes, but it's not a lightning quick attack. I've got a nasty feeling for Sheehan that he might be leading out Narvaez here. What has Narvaez got left? I think it's going to be just enough on the line, or is it? Is it? He celebrated too soon! No! Riley Sheehan would have taken that, I think, if he hadn't sat up. Marius Meyerhofer hangs on for fourth.
Our plan was to do the race hard, because this is race, if you see, is like for sprinters, and we don't bring here a sprinter really. So we have to think different. In the end, was not like this, and was good final in the end. I think we get a good momentum with the other guys.
There we have the stage result. Jonathan Narvaez getting the stage win that so many people thought he would, but possibly not in the way they thought he would this week ahead of Riley Sheehan. Søren Vanskov back in blue after his prologue win on Wednesday evening. Who would have seen it happening in the way it did? Possibly not him. He's back there though, but tiny gaps still separate the top 10.